Some conversations stay in the room, these ones don't. Welcome to Talk of the Town, a podcast by The Block where we sit down with interesting people to talk about interesting things. I'm Nikki, your host, and today's guest is Arman Mamyan. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So why don't we start with a quick introduction to yourself, what you're building, what you're working on, and your background.
All right, sure. Oh man, too many stories. So overall, I'm a software engineer in the first place. Been in the field for 10 years. Started in Web 2, traditional engineering, especially with 10-year background. It's a bit hard to start from Bitcoin and blockchain technologies if you're not writing one. For first 5 years, I've been heavily into software engineering, web development, as SaaS platform development, and all that type of things. Then eventually in 2021, when the new NFT hype started, I thought that it's a very good moment to actually jump into that hype train and without any losses in crypto, start to build also my career as well from more technical perspective, because at some point I understood that traditional Web2 businesses from engineering or programming perspective became too boring for me. And this is something completely new area, a lot of challenges, a lot of open grounds to play, tackle, investigate and learn. And I started my journey by just creating NFT smart contracts, as simple as that. For first year, I was doing only that, learning smart contracts, blockchain development, overall having some sort of understanding. And then eventually ended up working with different companies, with overseas, with a couple of them based in San Francisco, European startups, helping mainly them to build like initial proof of concept ground with crypto. Basically being that bridge between Web 2 and Web 3 for companies, having the knowledge and sharing the knowledge with the engineering team to have complete understanding what are the first steps into the blockchain world. And building all this infrastructure, I eventually ended up building my own stuff because it's a very common practice in engineering world in the first place. And in the second place, blockchain had a lot of problems and still now had a lot of problems when it comes to user experience and all the problems that people are facing. And we as a blockchain community are facing when it comes to pushing mass adoption, a lot of new people, a lot of new technologies, the problem of user experience or privacy or security. And that was the area that I tackle and started to build my own products, be it like a wiki platforms to educate people on CIS region. The other one is called Coverant, which is basically non-custodial escrow protocol for businesses who just want to had like a middleware platform where they can sign the deal, pay with crypto, and have a proof of concept, a proof that the transaction happened without any extra information that can be acceptable by third parties and by governmental bodies. And also now I'm working with Animoca Brands as integration manager, where my role mainly was helping enterprise companies to properly get into the Web3 world and integrate our technology.
Okay, that's very interesting. You have a very similar background to our founder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he also started in software, just software development in 1999. And then eventually in 2018, he got into Web3 because his clients were requesting Web3 products.
Oh, nice.
So you guys have a very similar story.
I wish I can start in 1999.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old. It was a lot of
I know.
limitations back in that time, but yeah.
Absolutely. So before we get into the questions that I have for you, we're going to play a quick game of this or that.
Okay, let's go.
So this or that, just give me a quick answer.
Okay.
Build fast or build right?
Build right.
Risk or stability?
Risk.
Founder or advisor?
Advisor.
Logic or intuition?
In the middle.
Big vision or small details?
Big vision.
Right now, bull market or bear market?
Bear market.
Working solo or working with a team?
Ooh, depends. Depends what you're building, but usually solo is right.
Stick to long-term strategy or react in the moment?
Long-term strategy with having that in mind to react as quick as possible.
Podcast host or podcast guest?
podcast host.
Really?
Yeah, I host my own podcast, so it's
Interesting. Okay, thank you for that. So let's go back to when you first started in the Web3 space.
yeah.
You said you started during the NFT hype.
Yes.
What attracted you initially to the space to be like, okay, maybe this is somewhere where I want to build?
As I said, like the very, very foundational part was that I was bored. Like it was very traditional 9 to 5 jobs across the world. Post COVID, everyone is working. Everyone is trying to find like a software engineering job remotely and all that stuff. But eventually, like before going there, I've been already for like 5 to 10 traditional companies. I work with Pixart. I work with other companies, be it a Silicon Valley company, be it a unicorn, doesn't matter. From engineering perspective, the idea is always the same. Go there, apply for a job, do the job, fix the bugs, do some feature development, wait for the payment, go have some fun during the weekend, and that's it. But like I'm a self-taught in engineering. My graduation, my bachelor is on marketing and public relation. And I started this not for just working 9 to 5 and not doing anything curious. And I'm very curious man. I'm always trying to find a problem and find a solution for the problem.
Yeah.
So that was the initial idea that, okay, this is something new. It is super risky because you never know what happened. And especially when you are changing your proficiency, your industry, you should be very reasonable and very vigilant in a lot of places because you never know what can happen to you, right? But I was like, okay, it's interesting. I have nothing to lose at the end of the day. I'll just join and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And when I joined, it was mess because especially if you remember 2020, 2021, there was a huge hype of smart contract developers because very few people actually know what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're paying very high checks and all that stuff. And it's a huge amount of stress because especially during that period, you build an NFT smart contract for a client, and client within 40 seconds, they can earn $4 million or $40 million.
Yeah.
And if there is any type of issue on this engineering level, you're the one who's responsible for that money goes away.
Yeah.
So that risk factor actually what excited me.
Yeah.
Okay, that I need to do something very, very cautious and very fundamental and very in detail. So client will earn his money and will give me my money, and I won't be like the one who get judged at the end if something went off.
Were you picky with your clients?
Not back on that time. Now I am super picky.
Yeah.
Because I became super allergic to scammers.
Yeah. Did you take any hard lessons?
A lot of them. My whole career when it started on crypto was a hard lesson because it was me and a couple of my friends setting up a business. We were doing like a Upwork stuff with a couple of accounts. We ended up having very high profit in 4 months. Like it was literally a small unicorn. And eventually the big lesson was that we lost all the money because of the lot of stuff that happened between founders, as usual is happening when the money comes with not right people on the top. And I learned management. I learned how to deal with money. I learned how to manage my people, how to negotiate with people as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the positive thing was I still love the crypto. I still love the blockchain because it's never-ending journey.
Yeah.
There is always something to learn.
Yeah. Is it hard dealing with your clients? Because I'll tell you why this question comes to mind. Whenever I'm talking to software developers, we have an in-house team as well.
Yes.
They're very straightforward, within framework, like get things done. And then when you talk to crypto founders, especially I can imagine during that NFT hype, they're like all over the place. They barely know what they want.
100%.
Was it a challenge like trying to take that from them and turning it into a smart contract that is actually viable?
It was a challenge for the first couple of them. Then I just ended up having like a small questionnaire scheme that I just give it them. They're answering the questions. Everything is built. So that was the most easiest part. The hardest part is where clients want more than just a smart contract. They want NFT marketplace. They want a unicorn business that they just had because of the crypto.
Yeah.
And like it's a very traditional entrepreneurial issues. If
Yeah.
you dig into more, like they thought they found an issue, they thought they if they have this issue, then others also gonna have. They didn't research the market, and they're trying to spend as much money as possible without having clear understanding what they want to do. And explaining them that no, this is not quite good decision is actually what is the main challenge.
Yeah.
Because usually these guys, especially if we're talking about NFT millionaires or crypto millionaires, these are teenagers
Yeah.
most of the time, especially on that time, and they don't know what's going on in the field.
Yeah.
They just had money they want to spend. From like a service provider perspective, it's amazing. Like you have a client who has a ton of money, don't know
Yeah.
what to do. You can just cash grab him. But for me, it's more like a reputational thing. Because, yeah, they might lose their money, they might go away, but maybe before going away, they can do some sort of
Yeah.
harm, especially if we're talking about engineering and crypto and blockchain. Because engineers are the main target most of the time. Engineers are the ones who can build everything and can ruin everything in a minute.
Yeah.
So having this, in crypto, it's called doxed, non-doxed identity. Doxed means that you actually showing your face. You're not hiding between avatars and stuff. So I started the movement by being completely doxed or completely verified. I always use my profile pic. I have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And that's what mainly excite people working with me because I'm showing myself. So my contracts are super legal, nothing like two paper signatures and all this stuff.
Yeah. Do you see a shift from the point where regulation is now being taken more seriously? So
Absolutely.
obviously you can no longer just develop a marketplace and be like
Absolutely.
out
I
there.
love it.
Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you see founders being more serious now about it, or is it still the same hype and go that it was before?
I would say there is still hype in some sort of way. It's just because of the whole geopolitical situations, market situations, and like we're not like in terms of even predicting the pricing or trying to build another NFT and stuff. We're not in a position anymore where we're doing price predictions. We have to do like a role predictions. What's the role for Bitcoin, for example, to become $300,000 token or Ethereum, or what should happen to the field that we will end up there. And in order these big things to happen, we must have proper regulation.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about mass adoption. This is like basically mass adoption was the crypto's biggest dream that actually created an infrastructure and area where crypto became as centralized as possible.
Yeah.
Because there is no other way to control it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will have people who will use it to harm others. Misuse it.
Yeah. How involved are you with regulation when it comes to developing smart contracts?
Not in terms of smart contracts. I'm involved in terms of regulation when it comes to working with governmental bodies. Back in my hometown, for example, I was trying to educate them as much as possible in terms of how to use crypto, what's these scanners, how all these things happens, what actually Arkham or chain analysis are trying to tackle in the field and how they're trying to help others. In smart contract, I would say based on recent researches and regulatory stuff, you're more or less good to go even without anything, as long as you're not working with tokens. If you're building tokens, you have, for example, in UAE, you have different, like if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 type of licenses, depending what type of token you are building.
Yeah.
Which is quite good, and it should be there. I wish it was there like way sooner. We might not have this amount, these billions of shit tokens, pardon my French, that are ruining people's lives.
Yeah, true. You mentioned that your platform is used to educate in the CIS region.
One of them, like the initial start was, it's called Web3 Wiki.
Yeah.
I started it just to like educate or become like a Wikipedia, so people can explore and find like legitimate sources.
Yeah. Why CIS?
Initial thought was help my country in the first place, because it's not, in terms of crypto, CIS is not that much developed yet. It has huge potential, considering also Central Asia, where not only blockchain infrastructure, but also like centralized exchanges themselves are investing huge amount of money. And I don't know if you heard or not, but for example, Kyrgyzstan is building their own stablecoin backed by gold.
Wow.
And Kyrgyzstan was the last thing or last country you would think that gonna build like a stable coin, back it with gold, and target to become one of the very popular stable coins in the market.
Yeah.
Of course, like Binance investing heavily on all Central Asia,
Yeah.
hundreds of millions going there because it's not fully developed. And these blockchain technologies, these centralized exchanges, have the power to actually create a regulation for that particular area the way they want it to be, not the way that, for example, European government want it to be, or got pushed by CBDC's laws and all that stuff.
It's interesting. The reason I asked is because I used to work in Tajikistan before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I spent a year there, and the banking system and the finance system as a whole, I noticed would benefit a lot, especially from stable coins, like just for simple things like payroll. So I think there's massive potential in that region.
True.
So I was just wondering what your perspective was going into that region as well.
Yeah, exactly that. And considering the fact that crypto and these companies, these startups are trying to even become a challenger for bigger fiat providers like Visa or MasterCard.
Yeah.
That's also something quite exciting that we're seeing in the market.
Yeah.
Like I've been working with different startups or companies who are implementing this crypto debit cards, crypto credit cards, and all that infrastructure, and it's becoming more and more popular. Why?
Yeah.
Because it fixes one fundamental issue that we actually might have thought about it very in the beginning, and we won't end up in a situation where people's first reaction on crypto is, oh shit, it's trading, it's betting, it's gambling.
Yeah.
Because what they see traders, they're doing trading, spending crazy amount of money, or doing collaborations and spending a huge amount of money, and they're not seeing the other utilities that exist in the market.
Yeah.
And the first reaction, boom, goes away.
Yeah, but I think that's shifting now, especially like we have MasterCard, Standard Chartered, these massive institutions. They have a whole department built for acquiring crypto startups that are going to add to their, because they also feel the threats. I don't want to say threat, but they feel the new market. Yeah, exactly. So moving on, you mentioned something interesting when you were discussing your background, and you said user experience.
Yes.
This is a huge pain point in crypto. Absolutely. I mean, I have friends that have accounts on major exchanges, and they still come to me. They're like, I can't figure out how to withdraw my money, or I can't figure out how to open this trade. Can you please help me? Why do you think that is?
Because blockchain industry in the first place has been created from developers by developers, I would say. And the initial thought was not to make it as UI or UX perfect. It was make it work, make it ship, make it fast, because there is a market and we need to tackle the market as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Then we will start to figure out on one hand. On the other hand, from pure technological perspective, I would say we were limited by the time. We didn't have the type of tech that we have now, especially with AI.
Yeah.
It helps us a lot, but there are a lot of things that, you would say, you don't have tech, but UI or UX is not related to tech. You could like design your buttons in a way that it will make more sense for your ordinary customers, right? I would say, yeah, you're right. I can't say anything. The idea was make sure that it's working. Who was the initial user of all that stuff? Traders. Yeah. Right? If we're talking about centralized exchanges or wallets, those are people who somehow know the game. They're pretty much, it's either Gen Z or late millennials who are super techy, who know how everything is going. And that was it. Like that was the very foundation that they wanted to cover in the first place. But that creates not only a situation with having a lot of people like your friends, problems with UX, didn't know what to do. It created a problem where there was a learning curve. And learning curve causes a lot of troubles for ordinary peoples because of their um, they don't have enough knowledge. They got hacked or scammed way too much
Yeah.
because they don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So at this point, do you think it's still a technical blockage?
No, there is no technical blockage.
So why aren't they improving?
Who is not improving, actually? I'm curious.
I just feel like, well, I don't want to name names.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I get a lot of feedback from a lot of my friends that are just starting out in crypto. And they find it really difficult to navigate even the big exchanges. Like, just create an account. They deposit their money very easily. But then to open trades, to withdraw money, they have like different, you have your futures wallet. You have your,
Yes. So basically that is what creates
Yeah.
the whole so-called user friction in the market.
So
Because you're giving your users too much possibilities and too much options.
So do you think the friction is now the design of the UI UX, or do you think the friction is educating the users?
I would say something in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
depending what we're talking. For example, I can say that most of the decentralized wallets, such as MetaMask, Solflare, and others, they had pretty good UI.
Yeah.
Phantom as well. They tackled it at some point. They reshaped everything. They tried to highlight the buttons and everything as much as possible. But if we're talking about the trading books, there are certain regulations they like centralized exchanges must like follow.
Yeah.
You must have your futures account separately and your spot account separately.
Is
Just
that a
because
must?
of not that much of must,
Yeah.
but it's good because in case of someone tries to
It's protective.
Yeah, it's protective.
Yeah.
So basically companies are protecting themselves, making sure that you have everything in separate and in place.
Okay.
Otherwise, there might be some user agreement issues, or you might do something which doesn't make sense. Especially now, it went way too techy because they introduced AI bots and all that automated trading stuff. And if we're talking about automated trading, AI bots, and all that technological stuff, it's always better to have separate account,
Yeah.
even outside of the exchanges. Now with AI agents, like I have completely separate laptop that has only 2 or 3 account access, and I set up the whole OpenClaw, Perplexity, and all that models there, just because it does not have direct access to my other files or my other funds.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So going back to engineering, software engineering, developing, just out of curiosity, do you still get NFT projects?
No. It does not excite me. Like I stopped taking any NFT projects in 2022.
But are they still out there?
There are a lot of them out there. It's just very standard.
Yeah.
In terms of engineering, and you don't need to even develop as an
Yeah.
like you don't need a developer to create an NFT
create it.
contract.
But now that we're in the era of RWAs and tokenization,
That's completely other story.
do you think that, not call it NFT, but the technology or the infrastructure behind the non-fungible token,
Correct.
is it going to come back?
Not in a way that we saw during last cycles,
Mm-hmm.
because basically on each cycle we must have something that excites people, that creates liquidity, then that liquidity goes away.
Yeah.
The one cycle was the first one in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, it was NFTs. Then we have meme coins that still continues in some sort of way. And I'm not saying that there is no NFTs or NFTs are dead. No. Well, at the moment, NFTs are the only vertical that has very green line in the market.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the same. I still see a lot of companies creating NFTs or creating communities through NFTs, because that's actually what's the meaning of NFT in the first place. Like, use NFT, create community. Your community became your utility. Then you leverage or incentivize this community to build something better or bigger, right? In terms of RWS, that's a completely other story. In case of NFTs, you don't need to do anything from technological perspective. You just need one AI agent and one Open Zeppelin's MCP model, and you can build anything. On RWA, it's a combination of a lot of factors. You have to have your tokenomics ready. You have
Yeah.
to have like a clear white paper how you want to do it, which trusting everything to AI is not a good idea
Yeah.
considering all the regulatory stuff that happens.
Are you working on any RWA projects?
No, not at the moment. I'm super focused at the moment, more like a fintech stuff,
Okay.
because that is something that actually um, creates this very first line of the bridges
Mm-hmm.
between ordinary people and crypto people
Mm-hmm.
by building this bridge between crypto and fiat, like the on-off ramping crypto debit cards.
Yeah, it's the
Uh,
biggest pain.
it's the biggest pain, and of course, like all physical exchange is gonna go away
Mm-hmm.
because of that. They hate it. Banks loves it because they started to understood that it's not bad. Actually, they can
Yeah.
still earn money on it,
Yeah.
and that what excites me, and that is like very easy way to introduce people to the industry.
Yeah.
Because you say, okay, you buy USDT, you buy USDC, you buy any token. Here's your card. Get the money, spend it.
Yeah. Can we go back to your role at Animoca? If you can just explain to me again what you do there.
So, in Animoca has a lot of things.
Yeah.
Animoca Brands is a very big venture capital. I'm part of a new venture that I could not name yet.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal is to tackle a couple of problems that exist in the market. First issue that exists in the market that we are tackling is when it comes to identity and verification, there is a huge problem. You are passing verifications over and over again when we are talking about travel sites, loyalty sites, or getting past KYC on one exchange, then you have to go to other one and do the same process again,
Yeah.
and then all the time. So what we are creating privacy first, zero knowledge proof layer.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to tell about all of this. I don't know where the lines. So basically, that's the one.
What is zero knowledge proof? Can you start there?
So in a very, very ordinary way, I'll try. So imagine zero knowledge is proof concept as a mathematical encrypted algorithm or a function that knows exactly everything, but it never exposed it.
Okay.
So let's say it's like it can say, I know 100% that this person name is Arman, and he's working with Animoca brands, or he's working with and he's living in Dubai, but I can't tell how.
Okay.
So it's yes or no.
Yeah. So it's
As an example.
verification without data.
Verification without data.
Okay.
In a very, very simple way, if
Yeah.
we're talking, that's the most easiest thing that I was explaining to even to government.
Yeah.
Data is there. You have to trust math.
Yeah.
That's it. There is no data exposure unless there is somebody or something that specifically requires to get exposed,
Okay.
which is completely other technological infrastructure and user flow. That's one vertical. The other vertical, of course, nothing goes away without wallets.
Yep.
So but I can't expose much on that. So yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So for my final question, what is one thing that you're really excited about that's up and coming in the space?
Considering the fact that I'm working too much with fintech, I would say that's something that excites me. Just because we finally found something that helps us to properly introduce people to the industry
Yeah.
and remove all the friction and fear that somebody gonna steal their money or something bad gonna happen. No, just because we're using these big names and these big players like MasterCard and Visa, they come to this place, they started to work in the space. So their brand, the trust to their brand is helping us to build more and push the so-called mass adoption
Yeah.
in the field in order to make all these other parts going well. Like because we have post-quantum era coming soon. As soon as quantum computers got released, we're going to have post-quantum era where blockchain is going to get upgrades to be able to sustain and not get fooled by algorithms. And the AI agentic era is also something that I'm super excited because it helps to reduce a lot of pain. And from entrepreneurial perspective, it helps me a lot because it's like having a whole team without having a whole team. Of course, there is always hallucination going on there, but you have to learn how to interact with them because the roles got shifted. Product people is one of my colleagues that always saying product people must start to think as engineers. Engineers must start to think as product people just because of AI. So there's a role shift as well.
Do you think the banks are being the blockage right now for that bridge that we're trying to create?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean they were the blockage. They were the blockage, but there was like a lot of factors in one. We didn't have the technology or the understanding how to do it. Maybe, I don't know, because as soon as we got account abstractions through EVM, everything got super easy.
Yeah.
The whole friction, like immediately, gone.
So these poor banks, they were never the problem.
No, they were a problem because of the mentality they had.
Yeah.
They were feared. Like back in my country, if I went to the bank and say, you know what, guys, I have an LLC that does blockchain business. It's not a wallet. I'm not doing trading, but I do, let's say, escrow business, one of my businesses.
Yeah.
They're going to block me immediately because they don't have, like, this is the learning curve. They don't have specialists. They don't understand what's going on in the field. And it's better for them to just block it and, like, say, have a day than, like, try to understand what's going on. Then we have Rain and Reap and other Visa Principal, MasterCard Principals who started to provide us the card systems. And these are the guys who actually fix the whole issue across the banks.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
I really enjoyed that conversation. I always wanted to find a software engineer, sit them down and pick their brains. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to do that.
Pleasure.
And we'll see you very soon, hopefully.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for watching.